going on? Sergeant Gaz here. Hope everybody's having a great day. We are here on the Modern Warfare 2 beta. You can actually load this up before the game comes out because early access is tomorrow the 16th. As of today, only the streamers and YouTubers that got invited out to play it are playing it currently. But we can actually get on the game here and go ahead and change our settings up before the game even comes out. So you guys can do this yourself too. If you've already downloaded the beta, you can go ahead and change up all of your settings before the game comes out, so you don't have to do that when you get on the game tomorrow and spend 20-30 minutes doing that. I have some really good settings for default controllers here that I want to show you guys. Obviously this right here, this is all your preference, whatever you want to change here. I'm just going to leave it on what it is at. All right, so at this point, some people may not be able to do this and you'll have to wait till tomorrow, but you could come back to this video when it does come out fully tomorrow and change up your settings, because the settings are going to all be the same. Today here, you have to plug in a keyboard to your PlayStation, and you're going to go ahead and click F3. This is going to open up where you can change your settings. Then you'll go ahead and click cancel. We clicked cancel. So here we are with all the settings that you can change here. Controller, keyboard, and mouse, graphics, all that good stuff. If you don't have a keyboard and mouse, you could just wait till tomorrow to do these settings, but we're going to change all this up right now. First off, we're going to get into the graphic settings. Now, first we have here the world motion blur and weapon motion blur. These are two things that some people might like for immersion, but if you want a better time playing Call of Duty and getting better gameplays, you want to turn off world motion blur and weapon motion blur, so that's not getting in your way or straining your eyes, anything along those lines. Depth of field we're going to be keeping on. Film grain we're not going to be touching. The big thing here that people are probably very excited about is that field of view, FOV, is going to be on console, PS5 here. That is definitely an option. I have no clue if the field of view has changed from Call of Duty to Call of Duty, but on Black Ops Cold War as well as Vanguard, I played around, I believe it was like 100 to 105. This is where I like to play. Obviously everybody's different. You may want to go all the way up to 120 and play on that. This right here is personal preference, but where I like to play is around 100 to 105. You can play around with it, of course, but obviously FOV being on the game is really good for console. People have been asking that for so long. Third person field of view, we're not going to touch any of that right now. Brightness, I have mine on 60. You can keep yours at 50, whatever you feel comfortable with, but that is what we have for the graphic. Now for my controller settings, ladies and gentlemen, these are controller settings I've been using since Black Ops 3. I absolutely love it. It is one of the best settings that I have enjoyed on default controllers. If you have default controllers or you can't afford any type of custom controllers with paddles on it, these are the settings for you that have movement. There's people that always ask throughout the months and years, how is your movement so good? Do you play on a scuff, anything along those lines? And no, I don't. I have this default controller that I play on without paddles on the back, and the way I hold my controller allows me to slide, jump around, and aim at the same time without having any trouble doing all those buttons. This is going to require you to change some settings in the PlayStation settings itself. I like to remap my controller. You can do that both on PS4 and PS5. It's going to be pretty similar. We're on the PS5 currently, where you can change that. We'll get into that after we change all of the settings here. So button layout, first off, I put on tactical. At the end of all this, I'm going to be jumping with R3, shooting and aiming with L1 and R1, sliding with X, and punching with circle. There's a little bit of changes here that you have to do in-game and out on the PlayStation settings as well. This is where we're going to flip it. So we use L1 and R1. This is going to allow you to shoot or aim even quicker. That response time, there's a lot of different little things that you can change to get milliseconds of time to get into those gunfights and be the quicker person in that. Stick layout, keep that on default. Controller vibration is a big one. I know some people like controller vibration, but definitely try to get used to using this without controller vibration, because this is one of those things that are going to throw off your aim a little bit. You don't notice it, but it can, and it's going to be better overall when you do learn how to use without vibration. It's going to help your aim, all that good stuff. Trigger effect is something on the PS5 controller that I really don't care about. So we definitely are going to turn that off. I don't really like feeling that pressure when I'm throwing grenades or anything along those lines. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity. If it is similar to the other Call of Duty sensitivities, I usually play around 7. So this is what we're going to put it at. I've been playing on 7 on most of the last Call of Duties. 7 or 8 is probably a pretty good one. ADS sensitivity multiplayer. If we are going off of Vanguard, Cold War, anything along those, we are going to be putting it around 0.90. I like to put my ADS sensitivity around there. All this other stuff, we're not going to touch. Gameplay. Aim down sight behavior, we're going to keep on hold. Automatic sprint is a personal preference. Obviously, if you want to save your analog sticks from breaking because you're pressing it so much, you can put on automatic sprint or automatic tactical sprint. These are both really good options. I'm probably going to use automatic tactical sprint. I have no clue how it's going to feel in game, so this is subject to change, of course. Equipment behavior, hold, ADS plus melee weapon mount activation, tap to reload, of course, and armor plate behavior is your personal preference when it comes to Warzone. So now those are the settings in game. We're going to go ahead and go into the PlayStation settings. If you would like to do that, hold your PlayStation middle home button down on PS4 or PS5, and you're going to go over to settings. Wherever your settings are on PS4, you would do that as well. Go over to accessibility, go down to controllers, or on PS4 it might say custom button assignments. Find that on your PS4. You're going to click custom button assignments. You're going to enable custom button assignments. Turn this on. I already have mine enabled and changed up. You're going to go down to your R3 and X. This right here is the X button, so you're going to click on it. You're going to switch it over to your R3, and that's going to automatically switch your R3 over to X. Now, what this is going to do is pretty much act like stick and move. The reason I do it this way is so I can use tactical as well. I like using tactical and stick and move at the same time. That's what allows me to have the crazy movement that I do in all of these Call of Duties. So again, just to clarify, this is going to allow you to shoot with L1, R1, slide with X, punch with circle, and jump with R3. So the things that you might have to get used to when it comes to these settings is when you do click enter, you would usually click X to enter into something, a screen. You're going to have to click R3. It is one of those things that I got used to. It's a habit of mine. Obviously, when you change something up, you have to get into the habit of doing that. So it might be a little weird at first to get used to all this, but trust me, when you do, these are settings that are probably one of the best for default controllers and having that crazy movement. That's pretty much all for now. Obviously, if you don't have a keyboard and mouse, you won't be able to do this just yet, but you can come back to this video and take these settings, copy them, and give them a go when the game officially comes out tomorrow for early access on PS4 and PS5. If you did enjoy, of course, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see Modern Warfare 2 content here, we're going to be streaming as soon as it is released on the beta. I'm very excited to play this game over Vanguard. Hopefully it does well on YouTube. Thank you so much. We might be giving some beta codes away tomorrow and stream as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one.